Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Film Biz Show. Now today we have a very interesting topic to discuss. Intimacy has risen in the South African TV and film industry of late, and with this, we've introduced intimacy coaches more and more in our industry.
I end up being Abdul's fiance in the storyline where he comes out as being gay. Well, I remember bringing my own lingerie because I knew here I have like measurement issues. So I said, okay, I'm gonna jump on you, and then you grab me like this, and then kiss, 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 and then we fall on the bed. And then I'm on top of him like this, right? And my boob is about to like, I can feel like it's coming out, it's about to like drop out. And he can see it as well, I can see in his eyes, and it's going on and on. And finally they say, cut. And he's like, dude, I was gonna help you out. If your boob came out, I was just gonna grab it with my mouth.
Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much. Now today we have a very interesting topic to discuss. Intimacy has risen in the South African TV and film industry of late, and with this we've introduced intimacy coaches more and more in our industry. Today we're going to find out what they do within production. Our guest today is not just an intimacy coach, but a former lawyer, a casting director, and an actress too, which means she knows enough to protect actors. Let's welcome Keneilwe Matidze. Welcome, sister.
Thank you.
So
Thank
good
you for
to have
having
you
me
here.
here.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah, man. Love your jacket.
I think it loves me too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I want to get it for my sister.
Are you sure not for yourself?
No. I don't think it will go with my, aesthetic and vibe. No.
You never know.
You never know, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think I saw Lenny Kravitz rock one like that.
Yeah, and you just have to wear it with confidence. I mean,
right.
who's to stop you? Just be true to yourself, Marcus.
It's true. Actually, fashionistas are like, the fearless type. So
yes,
yeah, we'll get there.
yes.
Yeah.
We are in the creative industry after all.
True that. So your career is so colorful. There's so many seasons, you've gone through. And I think your story is one that people will draw inspiration from. Can you just give us a brief, just the background of how you went from, the legal side, the legal corporate world into the creative arts, and what led you to actually being an intimacy coach?
So, where to start, Marcus? Earlier on you were saying that it feels like I've lived many lifetimes. Yeah, it does feel that way. But just to keep it simple, I was born for the stage in the sense that, even from school, they used to like cast me in this and that.
What is this and that?
Oh, Mary.
For real?
Jesus' mom.
I was a tiger first time. You were Mary. You were meant for this
I was
thing.
Mary, but and then I downgraded to Gabriel. Gabriel?
No, that's an angel. Come on.
No, I upgraded to Gabriel.
Okay, I guess Mary is like
but Mary was steering because she was.
Yeah,
she was the mother, the virgin.
Virgin mom. Definitely, yeah.
Isn't that quite?
It's, what I'm saying?
So, and I was always in the stage plays. I really enjoyed it at school, doing drama. And around about grade 10, then I was then at 8 for our age. Yes.
Yes, you know what I'm saying?
I went out to stage for this one play, and like the world disappeared. I was in the character's world. I forgot. It was weirdest feeling ever, but a most amazing feeling. And that's the feeling I've always been chasing. I think that moment happened to remind me of my purpose, that my purpose is to be a storyteller in whatever ways. And during my school time, I also directed a play, and I enjoyed working with actors. And I didn't know what it meant. I didn't want to be a director per se. I'm not saying that I never will be, but I wanted to I wanted to work with actors in a more intimate way than that happens on set. And I didn't know what path that meant or what that job meant, other than acting opposite each other. But I put that aside, and I couldn't study law. I couldn't study acting. My mom wanted me to study law, so I studied law, and I decided to act at the same time.
So what kind of law did you do?
So I got my LLB degree, but when I did specialize, I specialized in media law.
Lo and behold, yeah.
But I did mainly defamation and privacy law.
Okay.
And dealing with presenting the newspapers.
Okay.
So that was quite exciting.
Yeah.
That was like
For
the
a
most
while,
exciting. Yeah, for a while.
I'm sure after going it became a bit,
I mean, being in corporate is so different to being in our industry. Our industry changes all the time. And I think we become addicted to the spontaneity of it. Is that a real word?
It is.
Okay,
Well
yeah.
Man, school fees.
And I think a lot of us in this industry get bored with being in one place for a very long time. It might be scary, but it's nice to meet new crew, new talent, new production, new story. I knew what my story was going to be as a lawyer. It was set out. It was, these are the steps to becoming a partner. And once I become a partner, then I know what my story is going to look like every single day. Here, I don't know what my story is going to look like every single day. So it's quite exciting. And after becoming a senior associate at, in varsity, I started acting. Muvango as a kid. I was on Muvango as a 16-year-old troubled pregnant kid. A Scandal, did an exercise show of my own, and also traveled the country quite a bit. I loved that for 4 years with Dub.
So wait. So you did an exercise show?
Yes.
Like beep up, beep beep.
Yes, it was called Little Champs for Rama Good Start. So I was the coach, and I was like, it was for like the kids.
Brilliant.
So that was fun.
Dub, SABC2.
Yes.
Okay. Who did you play?
On Tube. So I was the real live version of Cody.
Oh, wow.
So Kubo Rancho, when you go see Dab, I'll be like Cody there.
Wow.
The strict one is saying, don't touch Dab.
Okay.
The mean one, because Dab can't be mean.
Yes, he can't be.
So for 4 years, I was with bye-bye.
Yes.
Hi. I grew up watching that.
I used to love it, yeah.
And then I had to end up deciding whether I'm going to continue with that or do my articles. And I do like to finish what I started. So
I love people like that. It says a lot about your character.
But sometimes you have to be brave enough to
quit, isn't it?
Yeah. When you know it's not in your heart. Sometimes you're doing it for the wrong people.
Can I just say, just to detour a bit, when I was studying IT,
yes,
I hated it, right? And there was a period where I actually did quit. And that was the worst time of my whole life. And coming back and pushing on, finishing it, and walking the journey informed a lot about my current career as a creative. So I'm just saying, sticking it through, because it's not forever. It's fine, that season will end. So if you cut it before the season ends, it says a lot. That's even, how many times did we want to quit in this space? But because you've exercised that muscle of perseverance, here you are, But anyway.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, because there are times when I felt, when I see people like really fighting for their careers and their dreams and their passions, I think to myself that maybe I was not courageous enough. But actually sticking it out and becoming a lawyer has informed a lot of who I am now and the positions that I play now. It also protected me because everybody pays me.
Yeah.
They don't miss out on paying the girl who's the lawyer.
They know not to mess with you.
Yeah, it gave me a sort of armor. And I think that's the gift that my mom gave to me. Maybe that's what she saw as ooh, because you know how parents are with this industry. They always think the worst. And maybe for her, me doing law was a protective armor. But it also gave me a voice, especially practicing it because I was in media law for 5 years. And then I became an associate at Weber Wenzel, senior associate. At Weber Wenzel.
So you really pushed, that's a very short period of time.
Yeah. Usually it takes about, so it's 2 years as a Canada attorney.
Yeah.
Another 2 years as an associate. And then you get offered senior associateship. And then, you might be offered, you might not, depending on how well you work. But I had a team that really pushed me quite a bit. And sometimes the things that as you're saying, I am a finisher. And I guess if I had not gone that route, I'd always be thinking, what if, right? And sometimes the things that you don't like that much, you often saw in them because you don't put so much investment in. You do what, yes, I worked hard, but you don't watch it like, watching paint dry. So it's weird. But I did have a very successful practice then. And I remember on the 1st of August, I thought it was 2010. I just come back from Denmark.
Yeah.
After the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I got into the office and I didn't feel like I belonged anymore. Something was missing. I was no longer happy and my heart was dying. Let me tell you this to anyone who's watching this, if you don't do what you are meant to do in this world and you are in a place where you're not purpose-driven, you will die.
Yeah.
A very slow and painful death.
That's true.
And that's how it felt. So I decided, well, it's the 1st of August. If I resign now, it means on the 1st of September, it will be a new spring day.
Hey.
That's how I rationalized it and I put it in my resignation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then what happens after that? You take the leap and where are you diving into?
Into nothingness. It was literally taking a leap of faith. No. I didn't take the leap of faith. I was pushed off the cliff by my higher power because I no longer had a choice of staying there.
Why?
It was too painful to not be following my dream and my passion. I'm a passion-driven person as opposed to money-driven. But hey, mali yafuneka.
Yafuneka.
We love the money.
But it's so much more rewarding when you make your money through what you're passionate and about. And it's almost like that 1 rand feels like 100 rand.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to what you get when you do something that you're not connected to.
Yeah.
So I understand completely.
And in time, you'll put value to it.
You will.
You know, you'll be able to value it within, you know, the currency of money. But at the time, I was valuing it with my heart that this is like no matter what. And I just jumped and there was nothing. I just had to take my pension and pay my. There was no jobs, no nothing. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. It was literally like, I'd rather be at home than waking up and not being myself.
My goodness, you are brave.
Yeah, I think looking at it now, that's why I did not take the decision. If it really was a choice of mine, maybe I would have been like, no, I still want my medical aid and my salary, and I was being paid well. But really, I was pushed off the cliff, and I understand why now. It was 2 years of trying to get out of that corporate cloak. And, you know, things started opening up. And the industry had changed so much. It had become like a celebrity industry.
Yeah.
It had changed so much. I did not know anyone in the industry anymore. And then I saw Intersections 1 and I got hooked. I was like, this is amazing. I must be on Intersections 2. I was on Intersections 2. And then the rest is history.
How did they?
I stalked the line producer.
I've been that guy. Trust me. I've been that guy. Yeah.
So when people stalk me now, I have to think about the me that was stalking the line producer back then. And I went to audition and didn't hear anything for 5 months or something. I was so sad. And my agent phoned me and said, you got the role on Intersections. And I was like, why do you just say it like that? You cannot just say you got the role on Intersections. Like you have to like bring out the balloons.
Oh, wow.
And it was such a dream come true for me. Wow. I just always thought if I could just get Intersections, then things will open up.
And they sure did.
Yeah, and I started working with Quizzical after that in production. And they had produced Intersections. And look at what we're talking about today. Exactly. Intimacy, intersections. That's where it started.
Exactly. How was that experience? Because I know, I mean, Intersections was a groundbreaking production. You know, where we spoke about sex and intimacy and what goes around, you know, how connected we are. You know, you might meet someone you don't know. They've slept with someone who slept with, you know, someone that you might know, and you know, and how were the sexual scenes actually handled?
Well, as a storyline, it was a well-threaded story, but
so well.
I think all of us were very new to that kind of intimacy.
Yeah.
I mean, the episodes I was in were with Palance and Abdul Koza and Palance Ladla, and they had this big kiss. I'm actually getting goosebumps. It was the first kiss where I saw the two guys just really go for it. So courageous. They were so courageous. And they did that on their own.
Are men, eh?
Yes, they were like alpha men. Yeah. And they, we were young. They had done like a show that, they won some, I think it was like talent. I can't remember what it was.
Class act.
Yeah, and they're both brilliant actors. I end up being Abdul's fiance in the storyline where he comes out as being gay. the scene then, it was wardrobe would provide you with their lingerie, try to make you as comfortable as possible. I remember bringing my own lingerie because I knew here I have like measurement issues. It doesn't always fit right. And then they tried to do like some double-sided tape to make sure that it stays. And the director, who is a friend of mine now, he's like, okay, guys, this is the bed. This is where you land. Just
Lord.
make sure that you land here. And also, like just land here and action. And I was wearing these stockings because I was so insecure about my thighs. And I actually regret wearing the stockings because they just looked so crap. They looked so tacky on the screen. Like they looked horrible. I was like, I should have just gone with but it was a protective barrier. There was no such thing as closed sets. And
so you could literally, everyone was just there watching.
Yeah. But everybody was respectful about it.
Cool.
And we had chilled with each other and like done lines and rehearsals together. So there was a relationship of trust. And luckily we'd all be traveling in the same car. That really helped. Yeah. And him and Abdul and Palance also had done the same thing. They were friends. That's why they could do that scene together, because they went home and they spoke about it. And I think they worked through what we help actors do. Yeah. The boundaries and all of that. And they said action. And I said, I'm going to jump on you. And then you just have to catch me. I'm not even sure.
Did you guys rehearse it before?
No. Because literally nobody spoke about it until we got into set and they were like, this is where you land.
Sure.
And I'm like, and what happens before we land? And the director was like, that's where you land.
Figure it out.
So I said, okay, I'm going to jump on you. And then you grab me like this. And then we kiss. And we fall on the bed. And then I'm on top of him like this, right? And then my boob is about to I can feel like it's coming out. It's about to drop out. And he can see it as well. I can see in his eyes. And it's going on and on. And finally they say, cut. And he's like, dude, I was going to help you out. If your boob came out, I was just going to grab it with my mouth.
What a guy. Hey, Abdul Koza.
Thank you, friend.
Well done, big guy. Sure.
But luckily didn't get to that. Yeah. I don't know what I would have thought.
Oh, man, yeah. Because obviously, I mean, it's... it's a bit of an intrusive act, but he's trying to help. But
he's thinking that he's helping. So can you see how it could go? And then I might think that maybe he's taking, an opportunity. So it could become a bit dangerous. But I did have fun. I wasn't traumatized by it, but it does inform where I am now and how I can help other actors. So
fast forward to your casting, directing, journey. How did that come about? As an actress, you're in the space. Now things are starting to get some kind of a momentum. What made you actually say, I'd like to actually work with these actors on a more intimate level?
I don't actually know how I became a casting director. I won't lie. I woke up one day and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually a casting director. I won't lie because, man, when things align, they align.
That's so true.
They align. I always knew my thing was that I want to work with actors. Yeah. I just could not put a name to it. So I actually don't know how I became a casting director. I feel like I woke up one day, I'm like, oh my gosh, what I'm doing is casting directing.
Okay.
It just, things aligned.
Divine intervention.
Yeah. Because I had put it out there as in I want to work with actors on a very intimate level, but I did not know what that was called. And I worked on a show in 2015. I'd done all my acting work and, there was a break in between and they wanted me to be a production coordinator. And they said, can you also do the casting? So I was a cast coordinator and a production coordinator.
Oh my gosh.
And I did not know what that means, but yeah, I mean, I took what, when I go to auditions, this is what happens to me. But I got into it on a level of wanting to support actors in the audition room because I've been to auditions where I actually went to an audition quite recently. I'm not going to mention the production.
Watching you, production.
I walked in there, Marcus, and I said hi. And it was like a whole lot of people sitting there and they didn't even say hi back.
No.
And then I said, okay, can I start? And the camera guy was like, yeah, shame. I think he was also so nervous. And I did my audition and I was like, is that all? And they still looked at me like this.
Sure.
And I walked out going, even if I was to get this role, I would
don't
not
wanna
want to
work
work on
with
this
you.
production. And those things stay with me. So
Yeah.
for me, I feel that the impression that you give an actor about the production that you're working on starts in the casting room.
Sure.
And it became a matter of seeing somebody with something, but they're just so nervous in the audition that it's not coming out, knowing that Marcus is a great actor, but let me give him the space to really
actually-
feel relaxed and to really put
Because
himself
this thing
out
is
there.
not something you just, snap your fingers and it happens. It's a process, right? And,
Yeah.
and everything, the energy in the room says so much about what you're going to get out of this person. So,
Yeah. So I wanted to change that and not be that person who, just makes it difficult. Because if you win, I win. It means I've done my job. I found a great actor.
that's true.
And you're going to go in there and give it your best. So I'm just wasting my time if I give you a hard time. And for me, that experience of coming from law where everything is perfect, it's all about perfectionism. I struggled with auditions. I used to get out there and beat myself up and literally cry because I was so terrible in that audition. I mean, there was a time I went to Red Pepper for an audition and I was shaking so much. And I drove out there thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I left a whole law career and I am actually terrible at this. And a small voice said, the more you keep on being so horrible to yourself about it, the worse you're going to get.
Sure.
So I decided to try like an experiment and try to be nice to myself after an audition, and things got better.
But how did you do that? Like your inner dialogue, like
My inner dialogue,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So instead of coming out and going, that was crap, I should have done this, I should have done that, I started going, well done, Kay. You pitched up. That was nice. I didn't believe it at first, but the more I did it, I felt better and better. I wouldn't be as nervous. And over time, I found some skills that, that I also want to bring into the casting room when time allows, is that the audition is like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So when you don't have a job, in between jobs, you're going to the gym to go flex your muscles and
true.
keep them
It's true.
working.
Going.
A lot of people hate auditions. They don't want to come to the audition room. They're like, but you know my work. Just come.
Just come.
Every character is different. And if you take it as just like the gym, you don't get as nervous.
It's true.
And then you do your best. And casting has helped me knowing that sometimes it's not about me. Most of the time, it's really not about me in getting that role. As long as I've done my best and I leave it to the casting gods to decide. What is mine will come to me. So that journey, I think, made me the kind of casting director that I am. I worked on that show and I really took over the casting. I really led it and I really enjoyed it. And the director who was working on that then referred me to Quizzical. They were doing Yalla and I went and assisted them with that. And then next thing I got a job on Keeping Score as a casting director. But still in my mind, it was not clicking.
That this is what you are.
Yes, it didn't click. Can I tell you, it only clicked on adulting, to be honest, because it was always that
So
job that I do in
recent.
between acting, and I'd never established my own show before adulting. It was the first show, okay, I'm sure. That was a secret now.
Now we know.
And that was the first show that I established from beginning, and I walked with the actors from the beginning to the end, from the casting room to the performance coaching to the intimacy. And it was such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
When you know that, yes, this is what I was born for, all of it, that I made the right choice, and thank you, God.
My goodness. I mean, adulting is very, very, it's an exciting project, a beautiful, beautiful series that everyone has been talking about, but it has some pretty hectic intimacy scenes. How did you navigate that? How was it? I mean, a lot of people, every week people were tweeting about, the last episode and what's been happening. Did you get any sort of like instances where there was, some misunderstanding on set because of the intimacy aspect, or, and how did you kind of work that out?
I must say big ups to Chedza for being so open-minded and being so serious about safety on set. They've always been a partner of Swift. And they've always contributed or helped even with, Swift, when they're doing their promos and productions, they always give like maybe the set space or contribute in one way or another. And when I came on board and I read the brief and the treatments, we all knew what we were heading into, but we didn't know how we're going to implement and how we're going to do it. But we all knew that we had to be safe about it. And they gave me such leeway when it came to the casting. They gave me leeway when it came to the actor's wellness and well-being. And I said, this is how I'd like to do it. From the beginning to the end, I want the actor to feel so special, you know. And it was the most respectful, playful, organized set I've been on. You know, when you finish a production and we're all so happy with each other and we all love each other and we can celebrate. Yeah. That is rare.
That's very rare. But because most of the time when we close to rap, no one wants to see anyone.
Yeah, and then on rap day, it's like, I'll miss you, but maybe not that much. But adulting was very special. It was very close to my heart. I treated it like like my baby. And so I wanted to make the actors feel safe in the sense from even the casting room, that you're going to be walking into a safe set by the way you are treated in the casting room. And I sent our producer at the time was Candace Tennant, and I sent her an email. I said, this is how I'd like to run the auditions. I want to have it in this space. I chose the Casting Cafe in Rosebank because it's a setting like here, but at the back there's studios. So it's like you walk into a coffee shop, you feel relaxed, like, oh, okay, this looks like a fun artsy place. And then the back is studios. I brought in a cast coordinator named Oratile. And she's so amazing. I know that when actors walk in and she smiles and she's like, hi, she's like those girls who will buy you a chocolate on your first day at set. So then you feel a bit more relaxed. And then you come into the audition room and you meet me. Apparently I look mean, but I'm smiling inside.
Guys, does she look mean? Just say something in the comment section, because I think she has the prettiest smile, but apparently the industry is saying she's got a mean face. So.
Yes, I'm always smiling inside, guys. Just know that. But I think facing a casting director when you really, really want the role, it's hard for anyone. You will mistaken a smile for a frown.
That's true. That's true. It's nerve-wracking. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
So I wanted people to feel relaxed as they're walking in. And on the brief, we were very upfront about the kind of show it was going to be and how explicit it was. And a lot of actors were reluctant to come to the auditions. And I'd have conversations with them over the phone, actors that I know. And that's the beauty about also being an actor, because I've made friends with the people on a one-on-one level. That's the beauty about also being addicted to watching TV. And I made the actors a promise that, listen, I don't know how, but we're going to protect you and I'm going to be there with you all the way. And whatever you speak happens. I did not know how it was going to happen. And I went to the production and I said to them, I think that I need to be like, I don't know what the term was called, but the intimacy person, I can do that. I think that's me. I think I am that. Even my friends, I was telling my friends, I think I'm an intimacy person. And they're like, yeah.
This is on adulting.
This is on adulting. Wow. Like before we started shooting, when we were doing the auditions. Because all the people, some of the people that wanted to come, they wouldn't come. They'd seen other scenes before and they were afraid that's how it was going to, from other productions.
Okay. That did not go as well.
That maybe scared them because we had not by that time done such explicit nudity.
Okay.
We would do the lingerie, wearing the bra, but this was nudity, full-on nudity and simulated sex scenes. We had not gone to that extent, to that level. It had just started. And there was the productions before then, and it was so new to everyone, and nobody even knew about intimacy coordinators.
I mean, I know there was before adulting came, there was a particular telenovela which was very big, and they had some pretty intense, sex scenes. As an audience member, I remember cringing while watching that. And my question was, I wonder how the performers feel if we're going through that,
I also wonder how the performance felt. You have to be so brave to do that. Yeah. And I give props to the actors for doing it, because, I mean, they expose us to a new level of doing things. And I think in time it will probably die down. It's still quite exciting, but it is dying down. It's not as hectic as then, but it's so brave. It's been done in the US and in other countries all this time. But they were like, let's put it out there. And I'll tell you why as I go on about like some of the lessons I've learned through the whole process and how I think that, hopefully in some way or in even a small spectrum, it kind of benefits society, right? So I had chosen a scene for the auditions, which was quite raunchy. Bonga having to say, who's your daddy, basically. It was so raunchy and it gave me nightmares. I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought, oh my gosh, I violated the actors. And I started Googling about intimacy scenes and I found that South Africa has got its own intimacy scene protocols.
Okay.
And I started going through that, and 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, I emailed it to all the producers. I said, these are the protocols we have to follow. This is what we have to do, which means even from the audition room, we have to be so sensitive about this because it's triggering to people. Yeah. And funny enough, that same time, Netflix was funding a training program for intimacy coordinators. I'd phoned a friend and I was like, I really want to do this thing because I want to be an intimacy coordinator, but I don't know how. And she said, well, Netflix has put out an application, a submission, to submit applications for training. And I went into that. I spent 5 hours doing that application. And I knew that was my path. Like I knew that all of this is going to align, right? And I was selected out of like a lot of people to be an intimacy to be trained by Safe Sets, the NFVF, and Netflix as an intimacy coordinator. And then my trainers who I had asked to come and become our are the same people who were intimacy coordinating on adulting.
No way.
Yes.
When we talk alignment, when we talk divine intervention, this is exactly it. You were meant to do this.
Yes, and this is like a month before we start shooting that, the interview process is happening. And I'm looking for intimacy coordinators to come onto the show and help us. And I realized, oh, no, these are the people that are training us. And I'm so worried about calling them because what if they think I'm bribing them so I can get the job?
You probably were.
And they came on and basically that's where we were all starting to learn this. And my thing was, I wanted us to be the frontiers of safety on set. Yeah. And the language on set changed. People were asking, can I give you a hug? As compared to just coming and grabbing you. Even things like, I remember somebody saying to one of the actors, ooh, it sounded like you guys were liking it in there. And I said, no, you don't say that. We are working. It's hard to be in such a vulnerable position. And that person only said it out of maybe their own discomfort. Because intimacy scenes don't only affect the actors, it's also the crew. Yeah. As a DOP or a director or anybody who has to be on a set, you also need to be asked if you're comfortable being part of that scene. What if it's not you? As an editor, you need to be told that, and we put it on the slate, intimacy scene, so that the editor knows what to expect as they're about to go through that scene. So I started training as an intimacy coordinator. We would do online classes at night for 8 weeks while I was on performance coaching and doing practicals, basically shadowing Emil and Sarah Blecher on set. They're from Safe Sets. And they held my hand through all of that. It was quite interesting how that worked out. But I did keep my promise. That was so important to me. The actors, all I wanted them to worry about was the storyline and the craft and the whole ensemble, the chemistry with each other. And that was beautiful. I think people loved that. And we really had fun, we had fun. It was hard work, a lot of emotions, because as much as there was a lot of sex and adulting, but it also touched on a lot of guy issues because those stories were real. The research was real. And the rest is history. What more do you want to know?
I was actually thinking this morning when I was having my morning coffee that how much we assume, when you meet with a guy, right? Like guy to guy, I meet with Kevin, what's up, Kevin? How you doing? Boom, we dab each other and we out. Why do we always assume that women need to be hugged? Don't you think that's also a bit like, there's always this assumption that you have to hold a woman. And sometimes, you know, I mean, that's a lot to ask from a person, you know. They're in their own mental space, and you have to kind of see whether or not this person wants to reciprocate that energy. And sometimes maybe we should invent a less, you know, like, you know, less, I don't want to say intimate, but less physically connected way of interacting with people, you know. So it's just something that was going through my mind. And just like this person on set is assuming that the actors were having fun when they were just doing their work.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that Cheta played a huge role in making the set safe.
Yeah.
How can a production company actually make the set safer? What are these elements and things of making a set feel more safer for these actors?
Learn more about what the impacts of an intimacy scene, what it means to not just only to the cast, but to the crew as well. So we did workshops before that. We did a workshop for the HODs, also about language and consent. So by the time we got onto set, everybody understood that we are doing a stunt. An intimacy scene is the same as a stunt. And just the same way that somebody can get hurt in a car crash scene, a person can also get hurt in an intimacy scene, right? By their boundaries being infringed, or something that's not supposed to be shown is shown, you know. So making sure that everybody understands what we are doing and how important it is and the impact it has. A lot of people have this thing of saying, oh, but you chose to be an actor.
Yeah.
You chose to be an actor, but you would like to be kept safe. If you're going to ask an actor to jump from the building, are we not going to provide safety measures for that? So why don't we do it as well when people are interacting in such a close proximity, right? By creating barriers. I mean, you've got your own personal life at home, things that you do with your partner, right? Doesn't mean that they have to be done in exactly the same way. And people have got triggers. They've had their own experiences, different experiences, and they don't need to be put in a position where they have to explain themselves. Oh, and I also want to correct something. So a lot of people call us intimacy coaches, and they get so excited that the intimacy coach is coming to set, because an intimacy coach is somebody who helps partners with their sex life.
Okay.
Intimacy coordinator is like stunt coordinator.
Okay.
So I get crew coming to me going, you know, I've got a problem at home.
Brother, that's not my job.
No.
So you coordinate. You're like a choreographer.
Yes.
But okay.
Choreographer, but also you coordinate the communication.
Yeah.
So it starts from, okay, production, what are your needs? What do you want? What is the story? Director, what would you like to see out of this? And how can I make that happen for you to make it look as real as possible? And some people think that we might be restricting, but I always say that when people are safe, they are willing to play. Then you empower the actor to feel like they can do whatever they need to do, you know, in the scene, because they are going to be protected, either by having a closed set, making sure that there's barriers in between the partners. So you might think that they're both naked, but there is something in between there, maybe a ball about this big that makes sure they don't touch. We choreograph it the same way as a stunt, so that, you know, I always ask the actors how they feel afterwards. You don't even get aroused because you're thinking the numbers. Okay, I thrust 3 times. And then the kiss is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we all know when we're stopping.
Technical.
It's very technical.
Yeah.
It's very technical.
And
rehearse properly before so that nobody is harmed.
That's true. I remember the first intimate scene I had. I must say, man, I was even embarrassed to stand up from the bed.
Yeah.
Because I was so aroused.
Yeah.
And I felt like, man, it's unfair, you know, because honestly, with the male biology, man, like, we are so easily triggered, you know, and it's like, I wish we had what you're doing now then. But talking about that, do you also encourage dialogue between the two performers? Like you were very fortunate with your very first intimate scene with someone as precious as Abdul. What a wonderful soul. You know, I really love that brother. And you guys had the opportunity to go into, you know, converse, get to know each other. Do you encourage that amongst performers? Because not everyone is as, you know, giving of their energy when you get on set. Sometimes actors tend to be kind of closed into themselves and worried about their performances. Do you encourage that, sort of
Yes. And we've created exercises to create the chemistry. So we'll have one-on-one conversations with each actor about, and we go through, there's a checklist of what you are consenting to, what you're consenting to wear, what you're consenting to show, and what actions you are willing to do and you're not willing to do. We have that with all the actors before we start. And if there's time and the ability to do so, we have rehearsals, right? And then on the day, we will meet with the both actors or however many actors there are there in that scene in a private room for a rehearsal. We do chemistry enhancing exercises and trust exercises. So by the time that we leave here, you guys are friends and you trust each other to keep each other safe, And when we talk about the red zones, don't touch me there, the green zones, the orange zones.
Who decides that?
So I ask you, I say, as an intimacy coordinator, I'm like, Marcus, take Tsepo's hand, right? And take them down your area. So we start from top to bottom and you show them, you tell the person that this is my red zone and this is my green zone. And you do that for each other. And then we repeat to make sure that you know and you remember in that moment. Your orange zones are maybe not today, but later on. But this consent must happen on a daily basis. Just because yesterday you said yes to this, doesn't mean it's going to be the same the next day. So consent is continuous. And you might say you're comfortable with something and tomorrow you're not comfortable with it. Circumstances change. And then I will choreograph according to what you're consenting to. And then we all know where we're going. We all know where we're ending.
Now,
and must I just add, and that is so important, especially I think for the men. People always focus on generally, the female seems more sensitive and more vulnerable because of, the state that we kind of live in already, even in our society. But one thing I found with men, they really do struggle with intimacy scenes, especially because they're so afraid of doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
They also, like the position that you've had, scared of being aroused, and then now you've violated somebody, but it's like your body does not know that it's real.
That's true.
That it's not real.
Yeah.
Your body thinks it's real.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I've seen scenes where, the camera is like shooting from behind, you'd find, and there's this one particular scene from a particular production, and the lady's on top, right? But it seems like there's no underwear there. They seem completely naked. How do you navigate that? Are they really literally naked? You were saying there's a ball, but they're so close to each other, it seems like the genitals are touching. What's the technicality of that? What is actually happening there? So
you've got, for the gentlemen, we use cock socks.
Yeah.
So it's a pouch that carries everything.
Okay, cool.
For the females, we use like C-strings, right? Or sometimes we'd use, so a C-string, it's a triangular shape type. It's almost like a G-string, but you don't see, it doesn't have the sides. So the string on the sides, it doesn't have.
It doesn't have, it just literally just holds the genital.
So basically it covers the vagina area, right? And then like the string of it goes into the anus area. So it's like you can't see it. And then you use double-sided tape to cover up. And then on the sides, you don't see, depending on what they have consented to, right? And then it's a choreography. So that's why it's so technical. And it's so much hard work. I don't think you'd even want to, because I've actually, when I was training, I had to partner up with somebody and be the man in that situation that's like controlling the things. And gosh, you know what I said to my adulting boys, like to the guys, I'm like, yo, you guys, you actually work so hard, because it's hard, to make sure that that ball or that barrier stays in place. You're counting how many times, you're remembering where I can touch and where I don't have to touch. So you leave that place still with like so much respect for each other, because you know that you worked hard to keep each other safe. And we try not to do too many takes. Yeah. It's tiring. I've been in an intimacy scene where I think we shot it for like a whole hour. Even the AD walked away. But that's a story for another time. Why do you think that was the case? You think that the director was having too much fun? Yeah. You see these directors. Not all of them.
Not,
not all of them.
yeah. But tell me about the actual training when you were in the Netflix program. What did you guys have to go through, and who was training you?
So we were trained by Safe Sets. Safe Sets is owned by Sarah Blecher, Kate Lush, and the other person who was training us was Emil. And there was how many of us? We were, so there's a lady from Cape Town. There was 3 of us in Joburg. I think there's about 6 of us. There's a lady in Egypt. Wow. And their side is a whole other story.
They're having issues that side?
Not necessarily, but they're more conservative than we are.
As a country?
Yeah.
So they don't have such explicit scenes?
Yeah, but I think they're kind of like moving into it. So it's more complicated for her, I guess.
So she doesn't have as much work as you do.
Funny enough, she's getting very busy now because she does workshops and talking to people about how this can be done. And it's all about being a pioneer.
Yeah.
And so we had like 3 other ladies here that were chosen for the program. And we had to go attend like online classes every week. I think each class would be like 4 hours. So I'd be coming from set and going into class on set the next day. And then I was doing the scenes on set. I was that lucky because, I was experiencing it on set. I really, really was lucky in that regard. And then we had to have like a week long of practicals. So it would be like a whole day, almost 12 hours just doing the practicals, doing the choreography.
Yourself, you had to be in it.
Yes. So we all got together in those practicals, like live.
So you had to wear this equipment so you can feel how it feels.
Yes. And the choreography I think is the hardest to make sure that it looks real. They don't look uncomfortable. And we are hiding the right things. Because if you don't want your bum showing, the DOP also needs to be aware of that. How do I hide your boobs? If you don't want your boobs showing in a scene where it's like full nudity that's expected, then you use each other's bodies to cover up and still make it as sensual. And it's great to work with the DOP and the AD. The entire crew is involved in making the space safe, but you also have to make sure that the crew is also feeling safe.
What are some of the disadvantages of not investing in intimacy coaches for productions?
Things can go wrong. You can have somebody saying that they were violated and there was nobody, a third party to see that, or somebody took advantage of a scene and there was no third party to mediate that. And then, it's like, what have you done to, what the protocols are, the suggested protocols. What have you done as a production to make sure that it was a safe space? It's better to have had somebody there who's professionally trained for it than for people to be harmed, because there could be a long-term harm. There's some scenes where we recommend that, the actor be also introduced to therapy, especially with like rape scenes or assault scenes. Or if somebody's like heavily triggered, and they might need further help from that perspective. So you won't know what the risks are, because what we do beforehand is that we do a risk assessment for that scene. And we tell you what could possibly happen and how we can mitigate that risk.
Now, recently there's been stories coming out from Hollywood of former child actors talking about how they were molested. And, they really are trying to enforce more protection for children on set. With your work, is there anything that actually, that has to do with protection of children on set, or some kind of, relation with the child minders?
Absolutely. Emil, one of the people who train us, he's a child specialist when it comes to that. And it's a bit harder because children, they don't understand certain things. But we went through specific training about how you would communicate to a child and make them feel safe. It's like you almost like playing a game with a child, but it's better to have somebody there than, for a child to be neglected, or for something to happen to that child because they don't have the language to communicate. And making sure that you have proper communication with the parents about what to expect and what is going on, and to also assess if the parent is motivated in the right way to have their child being in that scene. Having a discussion with the directors and checking out the risk. Because sometimes you might find that, let's just say, you and I had a terrible scene together and you've been cast on a show and they want me to come in and do like an intimacy scene with you, maybe just as a featured person. And I phone you and I say, okay, we're going to do this scene and the actor is this person and so forth. And then I hear, and then you go, actually I've worked with that person and we had such an awkward scene before. I don't want to do it. At least we're finding that out in time to find somebody else if they feel that they can't do it.
True.
You know, instead of like re-traumatizing that person. So with children is very important. We've had training in that respect. We also have, we also got mental wellness training. So I'm not necessarily a therapist, but if somebody is in danger in this moment in time, I can calm them down at least to a certain extent until they can actually get professional help.
Love it.
Give them like a first aid for their mind. So yeah, children have to be childminders. The right people to talk to, and an assessment if that child is in that kind of space to be able to deal with whatever is being brought to them from the scene.
Interesting.
So it does encompass all of that. And I mean, I did one show where Death of a Whistleblower, where I was actually more of an emotional support even as opposed to intimacy. Because it was very triggering scenes, violence.
Yeah.
So the director really, really wanted the actors to be safe mentally.
Because on Death of a Whistleblower, it doesn't seem like there are many intimate scenes.
No, but I did a lot of work there because I was there to support from an emotional perspective.
So part of your skill set is actually having some kind of psychology. Did you ever consider yourself as some kind of a psychologist in some way? Someone who understands how to work with the human psyche and human behavior and,
I'm very interested in that because I think I've done a lot of work on myself mentally. We all have our own different mental issues that we have to evolve from. And I did a lot of work on myself. So I'm very interested in that. And I'm very empathetic. And that has been, before that can be such a curse, but then now such a blessing.
Why was it a curse? Because people take advantage of that?
Not necessarily, but if you have not learned to protect your space, you take on too much of other people's energies.
That's
and
true.
That same can happen as an intimacy coordinator. You get home exhausted because you're carrying space, you're holding space for other people's emotions. Right? And you're constantly vigilant of them not being harmed emotionally and mentally. Right? And people are different. You are exposed to different characters. And some need more, some need less. Right? And Death of a Whistleblower was not easy. It was like so hard to see the actors pushing themselves to that limit. And sometimes you have to be the one that says, guys, she can't take any more. Whereas she's going, I can go. But you see that they've tuned out, like they're no longer there.
So they can't even assess whether or not they're able.
Yeah. And you have to protect them from themselves because as actors, we always want to please and make sure that we deliver. And you're as good as your last job. So you could harm yourself in the process. So from a mental point of view, you have to be able to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. And I was interested in psychology, but then I realized that, it takes a lot to listen to people's problems all day. I don't know how I do it on a long-term basis.
And you find most psychologists are struggling themselves with these issues because you're always taking on someone else's kind of baggage and load. But then what are the do you need any kind of qualification to be an intimacy coach? Because you're well equipped.
Coordinator?
An intimacy coordinator. What are the qualifications needed to be an intimacy coordinator?
Well, actually, if you look at the group, we all came in with different backgrounds. I came in as lawyer, actress, casting director. So the beauty about it is that...
But your titles are so powerful, eh? Lawyer, actress, casting director. Hey! Intimacy coordinator.
Intimacy coordinator.
I know what it's all someone. Anyway.
I must think about that. Like I'm processing it in my mind. I'm having a glitch now.
No, for real. As you're saying them, I'm like, sure. They can be quite intimidating, these titles of yours. But
they work so well together. Especially in the casting room for me, because as an intimacy coordinator, now I've got enough empathy and tools to bring out the best from the actor. I can read for them. and give them a performance. If there's any intimacy in the scenes, I can still make them safe within the casting room, get to know the actor on a deeper level and in case I need to help them on the set. I know all of their secrets.
Yeah,
how much are you willing to pay me?
For the inside info. Yeah.
So I came in with that background. There was a lady who came in as an actress. She's a writer. Another one, AD, actress. So I think it's all about the energy that you bring, your motivation, because it's a job that needs a lot of heart. And all of us, the one thing that we had is a heart and the desire to protect actors, to create safe spaces. Because this all came from the Me Too movement, right, with the Harvey Weinstein.
That was huge. That was really huge. So that's when Sarah Bletcher and them decided, let's start this in South Africa.
Yeah,
because we've had many instances like the one with Harvey Weinstein in the country, and it's still happening, where there's couch casting, where there's incidences on set where, there are some kind of boundaries that are overstepped, So I think this was a very, very important intervention. Yeah. But I mean, for the younger filmmaker that can't really afford the services of an intimacy coordinator, what are some of the do's and don'ts on set? Communication is important. I think what we struggle with is asking for permission to be in somebody's space. I mean, we do this exercise with the actors where you are where where you are, I am here, and I go, Marcus, can I step into your space? I love that. And I can come closer and closer if you say yes. But you will feel, you must come, you feel within your body that, how do I feel about them coming into my space, and learning how to say no. So communication is important. There's actually going to be more training for more intimacy coordinators because we don't have enough. And the way we've been going, sometimes you're double booked, So for anybody who's out there wants to train, please visit the Safe Sets website and to get more information from that. Awesome. What is that? Can you mind just giving us the URL? I don't have it on me. I don't remember. Safe Set website. Safe Sets. Safe Sets. Okay, cool. Okay. Or if you Google me, I'm sure you'll find a link that's got to do with Safe Sets there. Yeah. But communication is very important. Learning how to put out your boundaries. And if you're not comfortable, talk to your agent. Talk to a producer or somebody that you feel safe with. I always say to the actors, if I'm going to be on set, come and talk to me. I understand exactly what you're going through. Reading up on the protocols. They're on the net. So you'll know what your rights are and what consent is about, so that you don't ever have to be persuaded or pushed to do something that you don't want to do. You do have the rights, so know about consent. And you always, as an actor, if you're going to be doing some intimidating or whatever intimacy scenes that you don't feel safe doing, you ask your agent to ask the production to provide an intimacy coordinator. And you should be informed from the very beginning if your character is going to be involved in any intimacy scenes, because there's some people who just don't want to do them at all. Yeah. I know people like that. Yeah, and it's their prerogative and it's their right. And nobody should lose work just because they don't want to do an intimacy scene. Actors should be protected. Yeah. Everybody. I mean, intimacy coordinators also protect production because we make sure that they're on the right side of doing everything. And should anybody say, I've had a situation where there was false accusations and I was there and I could say, no, this is not what happened, this is what happened. And had you not been there, it would have been problematic. The one word against the other. Yeah, and one thing can just really, really, really mess up someone's career. Yes. Yeah. So it could be used in either direction. That was quite surprising. But you live and learn. We live and learn. Okay, Keneilwe, now we are getting to a bit more exciting segment of our show. It's game time with Juliet. Basically, Juliet will ask us a few questions. It will be you against me. Don't worry, today's game is quite interesting. It's going to flex your acting skills. So over to you. Okay.
Okay.
But I take off my jacket for this.
That's our guy dancing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Upcoming actor.
Thank you.
Okay, so hi, welcome guys. This is a very chill challenge, I hope. Nothing too hard. I just want to see if you guys can act, you know? Okay, so it's the accent challenge.
He's got a problem.
For you, perhaps.
He's flexing already. Okay, so all you have to do, I have 5 accents for you, and I just want to see if you can do them. Any sentence you want to say, you don't have to worry about delivering a line. If you don't have a sentence, I have a bunch of famous movie quotes.
Wait, what happens? So it's one sentence?
Just say one sentence in the accent, and if I am convinced, then you get the point.
Okay.
I just like to put a disclaimer out there. Please don't be offended if I get your accent wrong.
So I tried to make sure they were not offensive.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
This is the first time we do this game.
No, you guys will be okay. Promise me. Trust within me and trust and believe. Okay, cool. Are you ready? So ladies first. Both of you do the same accent, but you can start into the guess. First one, colored accent. Any variation is fine.
Yes.
Can you give us the accent? Can you give us a sentence?
I can give you...
No, can I just create my own sentence?
All right.
Because I only know...
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, Scopum, baby.
No, this is wrong, guys. This one has to be violent because it's colors.
Imagine. I'm offended. I'm offended for the people. No, guys, no, none of this is offensive. I just wanted to bring some South African accent into it.
Oh, baby, yeah. My baby's Jean-Claude Van Damme. You'll see, baby. Oh my God. I think I'm going to be
We're only on the
cancelled.
first one.
Lord help us. Just give me a sentence, please, Jules.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Give me a sentence.
Just say, I'm the king of the world.
I'm the king of the world.
Yes, when a man.
I love how you both went to the same type of color accent. There's so many variations, y'all.
No, there's only one.
I'm so glad I'm not part of this. Okay.
Variation.
Variations. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, next one. That was fantastic. I don't know who won or who lost.
Yeah,
because
1-1.
I think I won though.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it to you.
I'll give it to you because we laughed so hard.
Yeah, you killed me.
Okay, next one, Nigerian accent.
Oh.
I hate it.
And if any of you say that typical sentence, Chineke or something like that, come on, guys, give us something unique.
Wahala.
No, guys,
See, if you want a good nyash, you must go to South Africa.
I don't know if that's Nigerian. I don't know if that's Nigerian.
Oh my God.
It was like an Indian mixture.
Wahala.
That's what they say. Wahala means there's no problem. I think that is the word. Actually.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm watching Real Housewives.
I can't read. I can't read.
No. Give me a sentence. I can't.
And nyash is a Nigerian word.
What does it mean?
Nyash.
Booty.
It sounds like something to
nyash.
eat.
It's intimate.
What do you mean?
It's a booty.
A booty's intimate? All right, cool. I said it sounds like something to eat, so yeah.
Damn, guys. This episode.
Wait a minute.
It's different. It's a different episode. Okay, anyway. May the force be with you.
May the boss be with you.
Yeah, I'm using movie quotes.
Yeah, I like that.
I gave you guys. May the force be with you all.
Dog.
Okay, I love that
Dog.
one. Let's move on.
Dog.
I did think I was so scared of you. Wahala.
All right, let's
0 points. 0 points.
No, but at least I said two Indian. I mean, I said two Nigerian words though.
I mean, okay, you know what? Maybe the Indian people in Nigeria, I'm going to Google it and not decide. All right, next up we have the British accent. Any variation.
Oh my
That's fine.
gosh, guys. Seriously.
If you guys fail this one. Didn't
Start this
Go
time.
for it.
No, you. Oh, you go for it.
you got it.
Hey, mate. What you doing over there?
Okay.
Okay, probably
There's hope.
that one.
It was a short sentence, but there's hope.
Yes.
There's hope.
There's hope.
Yeah.
So who wins that one?
No, do it again, Marcus. I didn't hear you.
Oh, all right.
Marcus he doesn't
Yeah, he's
Okay.
scared.
invest and put his voice behind it.
Guys,
Okay,
you guys
fine.
don't see what I'm doing for you. I'm letting the international market see who you are.
There we go.
But you're not focused.
She's putting us on.
I'm putting you on.
This is an audition because
You're not gonna get
you're
hired by
auditioning the
Nigeria.
casting director.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? But you're not focused. You're not focused.
All right, let's get it, mate.
That's
But that
okay.
was like you were like repeating what I was saying.
All right. Well, yeah, he's not talking about Yashua Wala.
Okay. Keneilwe, you win. Thanks. That was scary. Your
Clearly,
accent.
we need accent coaches.
But you know, when I'm at home, like the accents come out okay.
I
don't know what's
know.
happening today. It's like
It's the
I
nerves.
just I was caught off guard.
Oh, God. See, you go into a natural.
Even this
accent.
hoa.
This was hitting
funny.
you.
It's not coming.
Okay, you're gonna hate me for the next one then.
No.
Okay.
Okay, Australian accent.
But the one I did before was actually Australian. I mean, it was Australian part British actually.
So with Australian, it's supposed to end more on a higher note than British. That's what I've learned. That's the only.
Please give us a sentence.
Okay, Elsa, did you see the kangaroo jump, mate?
I can even. What?
That is it. Yeah.
You know how you're cheating. You're putting elements of their culture in the sentence, and then now we're going to forgive you because you talk. I say Nigeria says nyash. So now we talk about kangaroos.
Yes, because I mean, what would Australians talk about? They would talk about the kangaroo.
Let's talk about a red car. In Australia.
And
You
talk
see the
about-
red car or the red.
Did you see how the kangaroo jumped over the red car, mate?
I've finished. I've
No.
finished.
Okay. Give me a sentence. Please.
Oh my word. Okay. You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know.
Now you can do British.
Wanted to get away to that. We don't want. I think some would begin it's like okay.
Why?
We needed one sentence. Then we go toe to toe in one sentence.
I did give you the option.
Why are you saying this like when you're losing though?
No, come on. You're winning because you're doing cultural
I
reference.
gave you guys the option.
All right, cool.
I'm a fair coach. I'm a fair person. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pass a stallion one.
You're gonna pass.
That's not bad. That's not bad
Yeah,
actually.
it wasn't bad.
It's just one word, stallion. Okay, what's the sentence again?
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you get. No, forget it. No. I'm closing all my chances for international producers and directors of considering.
It's actually sabotage.
Yo,
Give me
anyway.
a simple one.
All right, this is the last one. This is an American accent. Any
Oh my
variation is
gosh.
fine. New Orleans, Texas,
Give me
Louisiana.
a sentence, please. 'Cause
No,
she-
no, no.
Collard greens and what they. Oh, well done. No, we want
Okay, you
one.
can say the same thing. I'm going to give you the full one from Forrest Gump. My mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
always said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Okay.
It was interesting. It's like a South African who went to America.
He said never. She doesn't never.
Yeah, it's never. Hey,
But,
Why are we being so nitpicky?
I'll help her out.
It is
in
the
my
accent
coaching
challenge.
capacity. Please give me that again. the sentence.
Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
There's like nothing southern in that. We're just trying to be like,
no.
you know what the problem is? We were trying to be like Forrest Gump instead of being.
That's the
yeah,
problem,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
yeah.
literally
But
said
if I could say something like Mississippi,
That's, but I said Louisiana or something. You can literally say life is like a box of chocolates. Like, exactly.
ooh, when I Juliet, when I like.
Why is there no camera on me, guys?
You don't go down without
Casting
a fight.
directors, see
You
what
always
you're
gotta
missing.
win.
I
That's
am
the
very
problem.
competitive.
I can tell.
Okay, guys, that was interesting to say the least. Obviously, our lovely guest, you won. Because I don't know.
Ticketing. Uppercut. You see, even your punches are just not strong enough.
No.
It was a great challenge. Thank you so much, Marcus. We're going to work on this. You need to win the next time. This is for the Film Biz Show.
When we have her back on, trust me, we're gonna show her.
We
Don't
got this.
worry.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Jules. So, Keneilwe, now we have a very interesting segment called, it's a mini segment. We call it Put Them On. Basically, putting on someone means basically highlighting any upcoming filmmaker in whatever capacity, whether crew member, cast, intimacy coordinator, someone that you work closely with that you think that people should be looking out for? Are there any such individuals that you've come across?
Sure, so many. I think the one that I came across this week, I can't say as yet because she'll be a big reveal. But for me, it would be this lady who was an, I can't even remember the roles, gosh, on Adulting, but she was one of our leading ladies. Her name is Londe Gasishi. And I always speak about her story because it really, really touched me in how she really was, like, she was so driven to get this role, and we could not find the right girl for that role. And she came from Durban, right? I like to do these open calls and try to see if there's any gems out there that might not be represented. And I saw her tape. I'm like, this is the girl, you know? And I asked her to do the self-tape different times, like with makeup, without makeup. And she kept on sending these self-tapes. She's never acted, never been in an audition room, but she really wanted to. And she was coming from KZN. Never thought she could get the opportunity. And she came to Joburg. And she did the audition. She was the first person there at the audition. And we had callbacks that day. And then later on, around about like 2 a.m., she sends me a message and says, I'm home. I'm like, what? So she came in and she drove back on the same day.
Oh my goodness.
And when she got the role, which I was so excited about, she moved to Joburg and she quit her job actually when I phoned her, I said, you got the job. She went back to her work because she went to go get a coffee, went back to work and said, I have to resign, I'm going to Joburg. And then she's moved here, she's been so perseverant. And you know, like when you've done a job as an actor, you think from then on, people are just gonna be calling you. And it does not work like that. But she's persevered, and I saw her beautiful smile again today. And she's got such a great heart. She's beautiful, like a full package, you know, and I think she's gonna go places. But the fact that she put herself out there, and I remember how relaxed she was in this like self-tape audition thing. She was just sitting on a couch and going, if you're looking for a Zulu girl, then I'm it. And in fact, she was working for like a mental wellness company at the time that, you know, used to provide services on an app for people. And I think that's what came through for me, is that her sense of emotional maturity, you know, very young girl. So that's one person to look out for. And then my babies on Youngins, all of them. I think more especially Tshepo, who played Tshepo, and Lebo, who played Dumelo, such bright stars. You know, comedy is not easy, and I looked up to Tshepo. Tshepo was way much younger than me, in his early 20s, and I could see his performance, Market Theatre Lab baby, and comedy can be really cringy, and he just is like, he fits into it like a glove that was made for him. And I said to him, I want to work more with you. I want you to teach me, you know, because he's so creative in performance.
It's very humble of you.
Well, it was hard because, you know, I'd come in as the casting director, performance coach, like I'm supposed to teach them. But I realized then if I want to grow, then I need to be willing to learn from everybody, no matter how old. And we had such a great, as Pearl and Tshepo, we had such a great chemistry. And it showed on the screen because we're doing the work off the screen. And then Dumelo Lebohang Lepatswane is just a natural talent. He's so talented, that boy. He dances triple threat. Like when he walked into the costume room, I was like, I want to put you in my pocket. And such a humble soul. And I'm talking about humble souls here because it's so important to keep our feet on the ground, especially as actors. We can sometimes be deluded to think that we are greater than we are. We are amazing, but we are still human beings, and we are all doing work and a service to viewers, holding a mirror up for them and healing in our own way through our craft. But those guys have got big hearts, great work, investing in their craft, and absolutely talented.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, any next career goals that you might have? Anything on your bucket list?
I'm just getting through this year first.
I love it.
There's already so much piled up, and I thank God for that. To think that for 2 years and more you go without work, but when it comes, it like comes with abundance, and that comes with also a shift of mind. I will go where God needs me to serve.
That's it.
In that moment. If it's about bringing new faces and supporting them, yes. It's about being in front of the camera, yes. But I'm absolutely grateful for the package that he's given me within myself.
I definitely see an action role coming up on your side. I mean, you just exude that, lead lady, gun.
Yes. Yes,
you know?
That's the one. Yes. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you.
Sure.
That is what I'll be manifesting and praying. Yes.
That would be awesome.
And we don't have many of that,
no, we
right?
Don't. We definitely don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna put that on my wall.
Yeah, you should. And I mean, tell me what are some of the changes that you'd like to see in our business happening in the future? Is there anything that you'd like to just kind of see transformed within our space?
I wish we could get more money to do the kind of shows that we want. I think we are so creative in South Africa. We've got such talented people, and sometimes we just don't get the ability in that way to actually put the vision out there. I wish we could just really get more money and investment into films, because we could do greater work. And it's not just about the money that goes into the pocket, but to actually create what we invest and create and have the budgets for Titanic and that action stuff we hardly do because it's so expensive. Like, you want to blow up cars. You want to make it sizzle. But you're so limited. I really wish, because I think the minds are there, the talent is there. We just need to be given, the budgets and the money to just really make it happen.
Go for it.
Across the country.
From what I've been hearing, people have been saying the reason why there isn't such a huge investment is because the market isn't big enough. And if that is the case, don't you think that, South Africa is seen as the USA of Africa, in some way. And a lot of African countries, a lot of our neighbors are kind of aspiring to collaborate with us. Do you think if we integrate some of our stories with some, other African counterparts, that might open up the market, hence maybe allow for bigger budgets to happen?
I'll be honest, I don't know what needs to happen. But I also wish that, I think, and this is just my opinion, the US could see how powerful media is in influencing society, in influencing the youth, in culture. And I wish we could take it as seriously as well in that respect. I don't know what needs to change. But we don't have control over everything, over the entire industry, but we can make a difference where we are right now in our small circles, the same way that you and your team are doing, by putting, the correct, well, not necessarily the correct, but by having a conversation, creating a space for conversation. It's been amazing to have this conversation, firstly, because, I always think, how do I inform people more about what I do and being an intimacy coordinator and how it can help them? But this is a great platform. And, I believe that it will attract all the right people, right?
Thank you.
And it gets the right voices out there, the right conversations. It's about having conversations. And that's what, for example, this is what I want to say earlier on about what adulting did, was that it created conversation. Where in a country, especially where even sex is stolen, and we put it out there and we say, where different bodies are now being celebrated, body types, whether you're a thick girl, thin, and I always say to those actors, who were a bit scared, maybe thinking, oh no, I don't look sexy enough. I'm like, but we're going to show society what is sexy. And so change happens very slowly, but change does happen. I feel it. And we just need to celebrate. Sometimes, instead of fighting so much, we need to celebrate where we are in order to attract more of that. So in my space, I will continue doing just the little that I can in terms of making sure that when actors come in, they don't feel as if this is the worst place, or sometimes you feel as if why was I given this love if it's not going to take care of me? So it's about choosing what can I contribute in the space that I'm in. I got a lot from that, and I want to thank the people that I came through. Yontati Moshesh, I'd like to thank Gwedian and Patu for Chedza, because they've given me the space to really rise as a casting director, and they've given me the freedom and they trust me with my choices, you know. I'd like to thank all the actors that keep on walking into my casting room and abakhathal. Sometimes you come to audition for the same show over and over again. And me, I'm the kind of person who will say, I remember this person. And if I call you, it means that there's an opportunity to do something. It might happen, it might not happen. But let's keep on pushing. And I appreciate that when actors come into my casting room, they give it their all. You know, they really go all out. And I thank them for helping me to continue training in my craft. Because every time I'm reading for you, I'm still training and flexing my muscles in the gym, in the casting room gym. So I try to not look at many of the problems that we have. And this is what I also advise to actors when they're on set. Focus on what you can bring.
Love it. Any advice you'd give to the younger self, the insecure Keneilwe who's on set, trying to wear stockings and trying to hide, you know, the one who left the corporate world? What advice would you give her?
You are on the right path, and your mistakes are going to be your greatest achievements. And everything about you was intentionally made for you to become the person you're meant to be. And you'll never become an adult. So play.
Making me a bit emotional there.
What would you tell your younger self?
I think exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. Yeah. Exactly what you said.
Do you talk to him every day? I talk to mine every day.
Yeah, I still tap in. Funny, I just came back from a retreat this past weekend, and it was all about tapping into the younger child and remembering that person. And there's a lot there. But that's a conversation for another day.
One of my coaches, just to say, just to add a little bit, I went to my coach this one time crying. I'm like, I'm messing up the scenes. I'm so bad. I don't think I'm a good actress. I must just quit acting.
No.
And she said, you know, as a kid, we used to play like, and we play mama, papa, you know, that is acting.
Yeah.
So you never used to ask people like, okay, what is the motivation, the objective, and da, da, da. You just played. And so that is also, I whenever I go on to set, I'm like, okay, babes, are you ready to play? We're going to have fun, right? This is all about you. And it helps so much,
And I
especially
think
for those nerves.
As actors, we tend to overthink the process.
Yeah.
Overthink, like asking, you know, like technical questions about this, that, and the third. And we forget just to have fun.
Yeah.
Like we used to.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, you know, that first taste of the performance drug you had when you were still in standard 8, you know, where you got totally lost in the world that you were in. And I think as we keep going within this business, we forget that sense of wonder and joy and, you know, that ethereal experience of just being somewhere, you know, that's totally not here. So,
I guess that would be the goal then, to bring back the wonder and joy, you know?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Neely, we've reached the tail end of our interview. I just really want to thank you for giving us the privilege of interviewing you. Your story is very inspirational. I think you're a woman of great character. I think young women, when they see you, they see someone in which whose footsteps they should follow. You really hold the banner up high for us in the industry. The work you do in the intimacy space is very impactful. You are saving many lives. I not only call you an intimacy coach, former lawyer, casting director and actress, but I also would consider you a healer. You bring healing to people and you help people amongst, you know, with their journey. So I just want to salute you today. I take my hat off you and give you flowers and thank you. And may God bless you. May you continue the journey that you're doing and be a change maker in the space that you're in.
Thank you so much, Marcus. And thank you to the whole team for having me here. I'm looking forward to it. And for creating such a safe and fun space of conversation. It's so rare to just be able to speak about the craft. And I want you to know how much I respect you as also from an actor's point of view. You know, you're so invested in your craft. And this has been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for giving me that space and for holding space for me. Namaste.
Namaste.